It finally happened. It was inevitable. It was inevitable. We all saw the writing on the wall that this would happen someday, and we're finally here. And maybe the floodgates are going to open now that I'm doing this. But if you've been watching this channel regularly, or even sporadically over the years, then you've probably picked up that this is a guitar channel, right? You figured it out, that this is a channel about guitar gear and musical equipment and things like that. And you're probably even aware of why the channel's named 60 Cycle Hum. Maybe not why, but you are familiar with that term, right? 60 cycle hum. It's a technical term for the noise that single coil pickups make. It's also a noise that occurs in all sorts of other audio equipment. It is the bane of the recording engineer's existence. So everyone who is, kind of semi-knowledgeable about music and recording and the equipment surrounding it knows what that name is all about. But I'll tell you who doesn't know what that name is about. Bicycle manufacturers. And over the years, Steve and I have received probably thousands of emails from bicycle manufacturers who just simply saw our name on some list of YouTubers and decided that we would be a good channel to hit up to help promote their two-wheeled wares. And believe it or not, I've been responding to a lot of them, hoping that one of them would understand the confusion and find humor in it and want to do a video anyways. And it's finally happened. Here it is, a bicycle. I'm demoing a bicycle on my guitar demo channel. And it's not just a bicycle, it's an e-bike, an electric bicycle, which is extra funny for everyone who's been watching a lot of this channel regularly, because a few months ago, Steve and I did a podcast episode where we were talking about this guy we found on the internet who was posting about his dad. You see, this guy's dad developed a cheap guitar addiction. He was buying dozens of guitars off of Temu and then giving them to his adult son, like, hey, here, have some more guitars. I'm buying all these guitars. Isn't this great? And so his adult son is on the internet, I think it was Reddit or something like that, asking people, how do I get my dad to stop buying me Temu electric guitars? So we had a whole discussion about that. And then I told the story about my dad. My dad has an e-bike thing. He bought the cheapest e-bike he could find on Amazon, so cheap that the company, the brand, the manufacturer does not sell replacement parts. They only sell the bike. So as my dad discovered that he loved riding this thing around and that he wanted more range, obviously the best and smartest thing to do would not be to, upgrade your bike to a brand that sells replacement parts. No, he bought a second bike of the same make and model and manufacturer. And then he started scrapping parts over to the first bike as needed, as well as using the extra battery. And then he wanted even more range and he was running out of parts. So he bought a third bike of the same make and manufacturer, the same exact model. So now he's got 3 of these e-bikes and he keeps inviting me to go on rides with him. And so it became an inside joke for the show. It became an inside joke for the podcast, where every time Steve and I bring up the e-bike ride that I'm supposed to go on with my dad, we start singing Cats in the Cradle. Start playing Cats in the Cradle right now, because my dad keeps inviting me to go on bike rides for him, and every single time I was like, I can't, Dad, I've got to film a guitar video. Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. You know the song, right? So this is it. This is my e-bike now that they sent this to me. And of course, because I have this, I finally did it. The joke has finally come to fruition. I went on an e-bike ride with my dad, and it was delightful. We had a great time. I finally got to see how my retired dad is spending his free time. And I get it. He's doing something beautiful with his life. He has a beautiful and healthy hobby. He's out cruising around. But we're from San Diego, by the way, so we have a lot of beautiful areas to ride bikes around. He's riding around in this big loop. He has all these trails that he goes on and stuff. He goes down and hits the coast and goes up and down the coast, looking at the Pacific Ocean and all the beautiful beaches that we have and stuff like that. And then he shoots up all these canyon systems, and there's all these little trails that he explores and all these like bike paths and stuff that wind around through the county. It's beautiful. And he's 70 years old and he's getting exercise. He's out staying active. It's great. I'm super, super happy for him. And I'm probably going to take my family on those same rides now. I might have to get a whole bunch of e-bikes to make it happen because, yeah, I could technically do that ride on my mountain bike, but I would be really, really sweaty at the end of it and exhausted. And I'd have to pack a picnic or something like that, a bunch of energy bars to get me through that ride. It's significant. The loop that I went on with him was, I think it was 26 miles. And I don't ride that far typically. Typically, I'm riding to get my kids to and from school and then doing fun stuff around the neighborhood. I'm not going on big long rides. And also, this loop is full of very steep hills and all sorts of off-road things and all sorts of, kind of obstacles that are great for people looking to get a real serious exercise, but not great for someone like me who's looking to kind of like coast around with my family and have a casual good time. So I'm going to say, I get it. I think e-bikes are cool now. I didn't think they were uncool before. I didn't know that I saw a need to have one in my life, but now like, am I going to end up with 4 e-bikes? One for everyone in the family? Have I been infected with the e-bike bug? It is delightful. It is delightful to ride these things around. You can still get exercise if you want to, or you can just kind of coast if you want to. If you want to get the most distance out of this, then obviously you've got to put your back into it and work up a sweat because you are stealing, power away from the battery when you're pedaling. That's not exactly how it works. But if you're pedaling hard, then the battery doesn't have to work as hard to push the electric motor, right? And then you get more range. Like I said, I got about 26 miles on my ride with my dad, and it was down on the last bar of battery, and it was doing a thing that apparently e-bikes do where when you get down to the last little bit, it stops giving you extra juice. It gives you enough juice to pedal to around like 15 miles an hour with assistance. Of course, you could pedal harder if you wanted to and get going faster, but I didn't want to. So yeah, I pushed it to its limit for what I was doing. I was riding the throttle fairly hard here and there, just having fun coasting around, and I got 26 miles out of it. I have a feeling I could have gotten up to an even 30 before the battery died all the way out, maybe even a little bit past. But I'm happy with the range I got. I got to cover a lot of ground. We were out riding for a good 2.5 hours. So plenty. My butt was ready. My butt was tired. It was ready to be home. So I'm definitely not thinking about extending my range just yet, but if I want to, I can by buying a spare battery because this brand, Aipas, sells parts and batteries. I don't have to buy a second and a third to get extra batteries. So I'm sure I've been playing B-roll of my dad's ride this whole time. I've been flapping my gums here, but that's not going to be the end of the video because I promised Aipas more content. Because I tend to overpromise when I do weird, dumb things. I told them it would be fun to do a concept where I use this bike to get to the gig. To get to the gig in air quotes. I don't actually have a gig to get to. And if I did, it would be too much gear to load onto this because I'd be having to throw a 2x12 onto here and a head and 2 guitars because you got to have a spare and a full-size pedal board. And I know it could carry the weight. Like if I really, really wanted to make it happen, this bike is rated at over 400 pounds and I weigh 200. So 200 pounds of gear. Well, I weighed like 208, depending on when I've had pizza, maybe 215. But you get the point. There's around 200 pounds of range left on here for packing gear. So I could pack a serious amp on this. I could pack a serious pedal board on this. And I could have a double bag with 2 guitars on my back. I don't have a gig to get to, like I said, but I do know a pretty place where it would be a lot of fun to play guitar. but there's not electricity there. So I'm gonna have to rely on battery powered gear, which is no big deal because I have that. I have a bunch of battery powered stuff. Let me get what I'm talking about. This is the Templo Nomad 50, a battery powered solid state amplifier that you can actually run a couple of things into. You can run a guitar into it and a microphone. It's a buskers amp. It's an excellent buskers amp with a full size 12-inch speaker, and it gets crazy loud. This will fit perfect back here in the basket. I've also got this D'Addario battery powered pedal board here. They have a whole battery powered setup situation. There is the brick on the bottom. So I've got an amp and a pedal board. Now all I have to do is choose a guitar. So I don't know which guitar I'm going to choose. Something appropriate, I guess, for what I want to do. What do I even want to do? Maybe I'll make it a surprise. So anyways, I'm going to load this thing up. I'm practically most of the way there now. But obviously I'm going to pack things up in a way where they're not just exposed to the elements and bouncing around and stuff like that. I've got to find some cases in my pile of cases to wrap this stuff up and make it all secure, bungee cord it down, and then I'm going for a long ride by myself to a picturesque location to just have a jam. So come along with me. Let's have an adventure. In theory, this should be it, right? I've got a battery-powered amplifier. I've got a battery-powered pedal board. And back here, I've got a traveler guitar. I could throw a full-size guitar in a case on my back, but I kind of just don't want to deal with it. And I do like that traveler guitar. I think it'd be fun to incorporate it in this tiny little rig. So that's just what I'm gonna do, even though there's no wiggle stick. There's no wiggle stick! No, I'm committing to it. I don't need a wiggle stick. I wanna do the traveler guitar. I could mount a guitar case to the side of this rack, or I could wear it on my back. But I kinda wanna go more simple. I wanna go smaller. I know I could load a ton of big, heavy things on this, but it's only my second time out on it, and honestly, I'm feeling a little nervous about catching a lot of wind or something like that. So it is what it is. I've also got all my camera gear up in the front basket, and of course, a water bottle, because I need water to stay alive. So now, it's time to go. All right, let's do this thing. All right, are we running? We are here. Where is here? We are at the Torrey Pines glider port in San Diego. I don't see any hang gliders flying around right now, or parasailers. The wind must not be right. But that doesn't matter because I'm still gonna play guitar. All right, let's get set up. All right, let's take a look at the rig here. I decided to leave the amp in the basket, in the cage, because that's just a great way to display it, right? Also, my little microphone sticks right to that metal frame because it's magnetic. On the floor, I've got a very simple little pedal board. I've got a tuner. I've got the JHS Kilt for some dirt. I've got the Nocturne for some reverb, and I've got the Supro for some tremolo. Of course, I'm holding the Traveler guitar here, hanging from a strap, and I've got a camera right over there. Let's get footage of the camera just so everyone can see. There it is, the DJI Osmo 3 following me around so you can see where I am. I am at the Torrey Pines glider port here in San Diego. A beautiful place to visit, not just San Diego, but the glider port. Beautiful views all around us. And it just goes all the way around. I don't know if my cable's long enough here for the camera to follow me, but man, you just get this beautiful view out here. But we want to look at the bike while I play guitar, right? So let's see if this turns out at all. I haven't tested this rig, so who knows what's about to happen. It sounds good here. Hopefully that little microphone does what we need it to do though. It's supposed to be 32-bit float. I want to turn the tone up a little bit. Let's get some dirt too. The reverb that you're hearing right now is built into the amp, the Templo Nomad 50. Oh, we're gonna need more volume. What a beautiful day. Business. Oh, there we go. I never did this before. It feels really nice to be out here, outside in the sun, by the ocean, on a cliff, watching the birds fly around, playing nasty, fuzzy, reverby guitar. All right, let's play something, and then I gotta hit the road at some point. The sun's going down. Sing along if you know the words. Everything I set out to do on this journey, and now all that's left is just to sit here and not sit, I'm standing here. I brought a strap and everything, but all there is left to do is stand here and play some guitar with a beautiful view. Boy, is it pretty today. Just ridiculous. I'm gonna have to do this ride regularly. Just cruise down here on the e-bike, on the Aipas M1 Pro. Why wouldn't I? It's wonderful. It was a fun little ride too. San Diego is a great place to ride a bike, and they're making it even better. There's little bike paths everywhere popping up now. And I think part of that might be because of the proliferation of e-bikes. E-bikes make it easy to get around and see a large area. Like, yeah, you could ride a regular bike anywhere you want to go, assuming you're strong and healthy, but not everyone is. And even if they are, not everyone wants a full workout. Some people just, they want to cruise around and have a good time. And this is a great place to do it. This is starting to turn into a tourism commercial for San Diego. Not that it needs it. Next time I come here, I gotta bring something with a wiggle stick though, right? So anyways, thanks for watching. Huge thanks to Aipas Bikes. Aipas? I'm not sure how to say it, but huge thanks to them for making this video possible. And humoring me. And humor is like a big part of this, right? It's a fun thing.
Guitar is a fun thing. Riding bikes is a fun thing. E-bikes are a fun thing. I'm glad they looked at the situation and said, oh man, you know what? This guy's right. This guitar show's been hit up by bike manufacturers for years because of their name, because of their unfortunate name. Let's connect to that. Everyone will love it, right? Everyone likes this. Everyone watched this whole video. I think it's fun. So yeah, huge thanks to Aipas. Huge thanks to you for making it to the end. And if you did make it to the end, you know what that means, right? It means you won Ender's Game. Congratulations. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike. Leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon, buy a shirt if you're naked, and stay grounded. Of course.